day, you see now how all your so-called power counts for absolutely nothing. How your entire empire of destruction comes crashing down, all because of one little cherry.
Hi, it's Mo. It is Saturday, March 1st. It's Saturday, March 1st, and my husband is away today. He just left a little while ago. It's like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1:15. And I thought today would be a good day to do a what I eat in a day, because this is something that I've done before, eating all leftovers, eating food out of the house that we already have to kind of clear out our fridge, to get rid of things, and to reduce food waste. So it's really important for me that we are eating all the food that comes in the house, and we're not the best at it, especially when it comes to produce in the off season. Produce in the summer we eat a ton of, and we usually are constantly restocking it or getting it from the garden, so we do good on that. But in the winter it's pretty hard to eat all our produce all the time. So I thought today would be a good day to do that. You already saw my coffee in the morning, which technically was a leftover because when I make coffee for a few days and then I just heat it up the following days. So the first day is a fresh cup and then the next days are leftovers. We also had an avocado that had to get eaten, so I made avocado toast. Unfortunately, that avocado was not good, so we didn't get to use the whole avocado, but my husband got the majority of the avocado, and then I actually ate some hummus that needs to get eaten up, so that was good. Also working on eating the vegetables that we need to eat up. I also had some cookies. I got a late start today. I didn't even wake up till 10, so breakfast was more towards lunchtime, so a little breakfast dessert or lunch dessert was in order. And then tonight, I think, actually in my last day in the life vlog, I made some bolognese pasta. I really like to make a tofu bolognese, and we have some of that pasta sauce. I always make my own pasta sauce, just using canned tomatoes, basically garlic and onion, and that's it. So we have that we have to eat up, pasta that we have to eat up, so I think I'm probably gonna have that tonight because it's not one of my husband's favorite things. And then we'll scrounge around and see what kind of cheese we have that needs to get used up. I try to eat a plant-based diet as much as possible. I do eat some dairy. Cheese predominantly and sour cream are like the dairy that we eat the most, but I try to be as much vegan as I possibly can, and I do intend one day to convert to fully vegan. That's where I am in my eating journey today. I thought we could just also talk about what I'm currently reading. So I am currently reading Bluff, which are poems by Denise Smith. I'm very slowly making my way through this. I guess I'm about halfway through now, a little less than halfway because there's some poems in here that I haven't read yet. These were mostly written around the pandemic and the murder of George Floyd, so this one's really interesting to read but a little bit tough to get through, so I'm working my way through that very slowly. Very slowly also, and also published around the time of the pandemic and the murder of George Floyd, is Black and Buddhist. This is what Buddhism can teach us about race, resilience, transformation, and freedom. And I am about 3/4 of the way through this already. I am annotating it and underlining. I'm reading this for the TBR Spin, so you can see a full vlog with lots of thoughts on this book. I started this morning Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. I only got to page 28 this morning, and I'm looking forward to finishing this. It's March, so I did want to read some books written by Irish authors. And then I'm also reading The Oxford Brotherhood, which is the sequel to The Oxford Murders. This is a translated murder mystery that takes place in Oxford, but our main character is an Argentinian transfer student, and the author is Argentinian as well, so this is a translated work, which is super great. So far I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a little less esoteric than the first one, which is good. So that's what I've been eating. That's what I'm currently reading. My husband is going to be away till at least very late tonight, but he might also stay over tomorrow. He's currently filming a movie or something with his friends and his coworkers. So planning on continuing this video for the next 2 days. So over the weekend, March 1st and March 2nd, and we'll look at all the things that I eat and talk about how we can reduce food waste and talk about how we can make sure that we're reducing waste in general by the things that we eat. When I eat something else, I'll let you know. for lunch, well, it's sort of lunch. It's just a snack, really. I saw that I had avocado / hummus toast earlier. I had that so late because I woke up so late that I'm not starving. So I decided I'm just going to eat some dumplings. These are the dumplings that are my favorite. Dumplings, they're hot and spicy vegetable dumplings. They're vegan, no MSG, and we get these from the Asian market when we go to the Asian market. They also have a non-kimchi version, which my husband prefers. I prefer the kimchi version, but so I'm gonna eat some of these. I cooked 8 of them. They're pretty small. Ooh, are they really hot? They're like pretty small. Oh, they're hot. They're pretty small. I cook them in the air fryer. I like them always. I cook them in the pan. I cook them in the air fryer. I boil them sometimes, but be careful not to boil them too much or they fall apart. And then I also steam them. I think steaming them or cooking them in the pan is the best, but because I want to hurry up and do this, I'm cooking them in the air fryer. And then I have this much lettuce left, so I'm also going to eat this lettuce. I did eat some of this lettuce on my toast this morning, and then I just made a really quick sauce with some peanut butter. This is my preferred peanut butter. It's the Teddy All Natural. It's not much more expensive than Smucker's or store brand. It comes in a glass bottle. It's crunchy. It's delicious. I put peanut butter, soy. We got this low sodium soy. My husband doesn't really like it. I do think it has MSG in it, and it has a little bit of a strange flavor, so I'm trying to use this up before our next trip to the Asian market so we can get a different soy. And then gochujang sauce. So I'm just put all that together with a little water to thin it out for my dumplings. And then my plan is to kind of eat them in the lettuce, sort of like a wrap, and I might cut up some pepper. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut up some pepper too. When I do my dumplings in the air fryer, I just put a little olive oil on them. I'm a big olive oil eater. I eat a lot of olive oil. Let me show you the brand of olive oil that I use. I have been using this olive oil because it comes in this nice big container. This one's almost gone, but what I do is decant it into an old bottle. So this is a different olive oil bottle that I have, but I have 2 of these, and I just pour it from here to here, and then that way no plastic, and I can buy more. It's cheaper that way. It's also better just to have a larger container of it, but I use a smaller container when I'm actually like pouring my olive oil. Things we're using up and like leftovers, definitely this lettuce. The dumplings, we want to eventually use those up. Those last for a good long time, but I do want to make another trip to the Asian market at some point in the not too distant future, so it would be good to eat those up so that we can buy more. Like, I try to only buy things that we don't have. Like, I try not to overstock on things because that's the way the things, especially food, gets missed, but it qualifies for like skincare and hair care and things like that as well. Like, to me, it's much easier to just buy things when you're completely out of something or almost completely out of it. That way you're not overbuying, you're not overspending, but also you're ensuring that nothing's going to go bad before you get to it. You just don't want things to go bad. You want to produce as little food waste as possible. So that's going to be my lunch, just some dumplings and the lettuce. A dumpling, a lettuce, they're not very hot anymore, a piece of pepper, and then dip it in the sauce. Super hot inside still, but super good. Obviously, you can put garlic in that sauce, you can put ginger in that sauce. I do have ginger that I need to eat up, but I didn't feel like putting it in there. I just did really, really, really simple. Also, sometimes I'll just put ssamjang in there because that's like a garlicky dip, and if you mix it up, it's good. Also, if you don't like spicy stuff, just omit the gochujang. Also, you could add green onions, that would be really good. You could also add any other vegetable that you want to put in there, and make it more like kind of like a spring roll. My kind of trick to using up vegetables and to eating vegetables is to eat vegetables as often as possible, even if it's just a little bit at a time, and even if it's just a little bit. This is what is this called? Ginger shot. This is a ginger shot that I made a few weeks ago when I was sick. It still smells fine, so I think I'm gonna have some of this as tea. I made it really, really thick because I left all the rinds and everything on. I just blended lemons, ginger, turmeric, water, honey, lemons, ginger, water, turmeric, honey, black pepper. I think that was it in my blender. I didn't take any of the skins or the pith out of the lemon because those are really good for you, but it made it really, really thick. So it wasn't super fun to drink as a shot. I was diluting it and just drinking it as a shot, but I think the way that I like to drink it more is with a little bit extra honey and then as a tea. So that's what I'm gonna do now. You will probably notice that almost all of these things are things that I ate in my day in the life, get my life back together after being sick video, which you'll definitely see before this because I'm still eating stuff up. Part of the way that we can control food waste and part of the way that we can save money is to eat everything that we use. So I should have probably finished this by now, but once I was feeling better, I kind of forgot all about it. So today when I saw it, I was like, well, we definitely have to work on finishing this. I have my mug. I'm just gonna put a big spoonful of this in there. 2 spoonfuls. I'm gonna put some extra honey in there as well, just to make it a little bit sweeter. And also, because I like honey and I have to use up this honey, this is honey that we've had for a really long time, and it is like a lemon flavored honey. It's good, but I don't love it on its own. So I just prefer to put it in things rather than like have it on toast or use it as more of like a honey flavored thing. A lot of times, because we're adventurous eaters and because we're people who like to support local businesses and because we like to try different things, we try stuff that maybe doesn't work for us. So this one, even though we love this honey company and even though we love this apiary, is not my favorite honey because it is like a lemon honey. It's okay, but one of the things that we have to do is eat it up. So finding creative ways to eat things up that you don't love is also really beneficial to help with food waste. The lighting's a little rough. I worked, I had a nap, I danced, and now it's time to make dinner. First things first, I use this pan. It has a little bit of oil in it this morning to make my toast. So we're just gonna use that pan. I didn't clean it, it's still got oil in it, it's gonna be fine. I have a block of tofu. This one is like surprisingly wet, but this is my favorite tofu. It is the Nasoya organic tofu, super firm. And usually it's not like super wet like this, but this one has been. I have had it for a couple of weeks. It's still perfectly good. Remember, expiration dates are a myth, but this one doesn't even have an expiration date. It has a best used by date, and that is best used by April 18th, so well within anyone's standards, but again, a best used by is not when you should throw it out, it's just when it's going to taste the freshest. So I cut that in half and I drain the water, and I'm going to take half of that block of tofu. It's not usually this wet, it's usually pretty dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just tear it up into pieces, but as I tear it up, I'm going to squeeze it a little bit. So I'm going to squeeze it first, just with my hands over the sink, get some of the like moisture out. You could also boil it. Boiling it is a way that actually releases moisture from tofu, but I don't have time or energy or patience for that. So now it's like pretty crumpled. I'm just gonna crumple it into that pan that already has a little bit of oil in it. Some bigger chunks, but mostly like small chunks. 4 seasonings, salt and pepper. So this salt and pepper that my mother-in-law got on our vacation, so I've been trying to use it up since it was either that or it was going in the garbage. We took it home from vacation. We drove this home from Tennessee and we've been using it since November, and put quite a bit of pepper. Pepper helps too with like giving it a little spice, which I enjoy. The pepper that I usually get that's a ground pepper, I try to get in this metal container. It does have a plastic top, but at least this is the same amount of plastic, so it's not the worst. And then I do like Maldon salt for like a finishing salt, which comes in a plastic bag inside of a paper container. So I recycle both the paper container and the plastic bag. Next, we need garlic granules and onion powder. If I'm going to buy spices that are not in bulk, which oftentimes I have to buy spices that are not in bulk because it's harder to find the bulk spices, I will get it in a glass container, and then usually it's going to have a plastic top. Ideally, I would get this in bulk that I could bag myself, or I would get it in a big container that's like a plastic bag that I could recycle. Garlic granules, not garlic powder, always important to me. Generous all over the tofu. I don't have the pan on yet or anything. I'm just getting in there and spicing it up, and I'm going to mix it up. Next, I have onion powder. This one, I don't know where I got this. I think someone gave it to me because they had extra, so it is in a plastic container with a plastic top. Another reason that I don't like spices, especially like a powder spice, in plastic is that moisture is usually able to get into it, and so then you have this problem with completely like stuck together onion powder. So I just use a knife. That gets it pretty powdery, but as it cooks, it's also going to disperse as well, which is good. Onion, garlic, salt, pepper. You can put whatever you want in this, but my secret ingredient for making a good meaty sauce is fennel seeds. So also a generous little shake of fennel seeds in there. Now we have our seasoned tofu, and I'm just going to take my hands and like kind of mix it around. Because this tofu was so wet, I didn't need to put oil into it again to do this part. This is just going to help disperse the seasoning in the tofu. Now I'm going to put oil in this pan. Now I'm going to turn it on, and this is going to cook for like half an hour probably. I like mine to brown all the little bits of tofu. Getting into like smaller bits helps with that. I've been blurry this whole time probably. But also I want all that moisture to get cooked out because I want it to have like a nice like toothsome texture. And personally, I want mine to be like a little crispy. When you put it in the sauce, it's going to moisten up again. So I like it to be a little crispy so that you have, again, just a little more texture going in. I would probably do half a block of tofu for me and my husband. We usually eat about half a block of tofu between us, but we're usually eating a lot of other things. Since I'm just doing this for myself, I probably won't eat all this tofu, but I'll eat probably like 2/3 of it for this portion for dinner for myself. And then maybe if we were really hungry, if this is the only thing I would eat, I would do both halves for my husband and I. Medium to low heat. You don't want this to burn. The other half of the tofu, let's get some of the more of that water out. I just cut the tofu directly in half in the plastic container, and then I take the other side of the plastic container, the empty now side, and I just, oops, that's gross, that was wet. And I just fold it around the remaining part of the tofu so you have it sealed. You don't have to use any other packaging or dirty a container to store your tofu. That will cook for a while, and then I have, like I said, the jarred sauce. The sauce that I made the other day will go in there with a little bit of water once our tofu is completely cooked. So I'll be back in like half an hour. Okay, so here's my tofu. It's just about ready. It's like pretty crispy. You can see there's definitely some oil in there. It could go for longer. This definitely turned into less tofu than like a normal half a block of tofu makes for me. I think because it was so wet. But tofu, you know, it's a plant, so it's a little different. It's not always going to be the same. And then I'm going to just put my sauce. Like I said, I make this sauce myself. I will never buy jarred pasta sauce again. It's so much better and easier, and it just tastes so much better to make it yourself. I'm gonna put like a little bit of extra water in here and just get all the sauce out of there and then kind of cook it back down. I'm not in a huge rush to eat. I'm hungry, but I'm not like starving. Didn't snack a lot today. I think it's because I got up so late and then I took a nap also. So water in my pot. I want the flavor of the tofu and everything to infuse into the sauce as well, because it's got all that good fennel and garlic and delicious tasting stuff. You know what I might do? What I might also do is add a few lentils, because that'll add just a little more texture and also just a little more protein. I don't want to add too many though, because I don't want this to cook forever. So I'm just gonna add like, I don't know, 1/8 of a cup. Rinse those right in. Do a little bit more actually. These are also something that I've been trying to use up. I'm like, anytime you can sneak a little bit more plants in there, anytime you can get some different plant protein, always good. I'm gonna turn that back up to medium high. Now I gotta find my pasta. Ziti, tiny little bit of this. It's a few days later. My husband ended up coming home on Sunday, but he's out again today with work. So I did film some of the meals. I think the only thing I didn't film since I saw you last was a really good grilled cheese sandwich, which is a shame because it was really good and it was pretty, so whatever. But similar to a grilled cheese sandwich today, for like snack lunch, I'm having this quesadilla with sour cream and hot sauce. I'm also having this blueberry kombucha. This is the brand of kombucha I've never tried before, but it's really good. It's quite sweet, but it's from Vermont, which I enjoy. Sometimes I get on a kombucha kick, and I really like these kombuchas that come in like a can or are a little bit more spritzy than like a heavy, juicy kombucha. I wanted to talk about the yogurt that I ate this morning. My yogurt of choice is Coco June. This is a plant-based, coconut-based yogurt. These are really good. This one is good because it's quite tart. They are quite sweet as well, but you can get plain, unsweetened. They're not very coconutty, which I like. I'm not a big coconut person, but I love Coco June. I love the texture, and my favorite thing actually to do, which I haven't done in a while, is to leave these for about 2 to 3 months in the fridge. Yes, it'll be past their best by date, but they don't go bad. I've eaten them up to 1.5 years, almost 2 years, leaving them in the fridge, and they're totally fine. Obviously, smell check, use at your own discretion, but for me, I've never had an issue. But I like to leave them that way because the enzymes keep working, and then it turns almost more into a Greek yogurt texture. So they're pretty soft and loose and squishy and silky when you get them right out of the container, but if you leave them for a couple of months, they turn like much more firm and like that skyr or Greek yogurt consistency, which I also really like. So I had this. I've been eating it with almonds, which is my nut of choice, but also with chocolate chips, and especially the strawberry rhubarb version. It makes it kind of like chocolate covered strawberry almonds yogurt. I don't like yogurt generally, but I know yogurt's good for me, so I do try to eat yogurt when I can. Obviously, I'm also eating a fermented food with the kombucha, and then sour cream also has like yogurt enzymes, so not the worst things. I had this about 2 hours ago. Now I'm going to eat this, and that'll probably satisfy me until dinner.